There is something in your life, in your body, in your reality that is waking the fuck up right now, and it's intense. Like, it is big, it is life-changing, it is unlike anything you've ever experienced before. It's unlike anything you've ever read about, watched about, listened about. Like, it's not something that could be really explained in words. And I've been slowly but surely seeing glimpses of that in meditation, feeling it in my body, and it's something that is happening as a big universal shift here on Earth. So we know about the new Earth, we know about the new paradigm, we know about this 5D shift that we're going into. And with that, there is this part of ourself that's waking up too, this wild and free part of ourself. And in our wildness, we remember that we are children of the earth, that we are literally like a manifestation of the earth. When we look at our water content and just how like our fingerprints look like the inside of a tree, or all those amazing things that we see online of how we are literally nature. We've been so stripped away from it. And I saw this thing yesterday, doesn't matter, and it was someone asked AI, maybe she told AI to say it, I don't know, what it would do if it was like the devil trying to take over the world, pretty much something like that. And it gave this really articulated so many bees. It also maybe get into that if I remember, if it comes through in the channeling. But it was saying like it would slowly but surely like get children and young people addicted to this scrolling and to dopamine and to looking outside of themselves and to separateness, and like to the point where they don't even know themselves anymore. And so many of you here have been on that journey. Maybe a few of you have like managed to escape ever having a phone or being in this matrix, this chapter of the matrix that has been happening recently, like I guess in the last 20, 30 years. What a wild time to be alive it is right now, right? And so maybe you escaped and you never entered. Maybe you're escaping right now. Maybe you're like waking up to the fact that you are meant to escape. And escape, I mean wake up. And a wake up, I mean remember your truth. Remember your wildness. Remember how free you are. And so in your wildness, you are connected to earth. You have all the answers within the earth, within your body. Everything that you need is here. Everything that is meant for you is provided for you. So that was something that I had a realization about when I had my spiritual awakening, and it was really along the lines of like the earth is our mother, and I love it actually. I love this earth talk. I think that there was a block within me about speaking about this, or speaking in this language, I guess, like saying children of the earth and whatnot. I think there were patterns and associations of being like woo-woo hippie, blah, 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 even though I am super woo-woo hippie, I guess. But I don't know. Anyway, when I went through my spiritual awakening and I felt like it's not even that I knew it, it's like I remembered it. It was this really strong feeling, like this connection. It was like the connection had been made. You know, in Avatar, when they like connect to their thing that they ride and then they're like one. It was kind of like that. But I remembered that earth like grows everything that we need, produces everything that we need, has the water that we need, the air that we need, and has materials to build shelter that we need. Like everything is here. And when I look at my life, and I remember that I live in a tent and in a van on a farm in Italy, and I look at how simple my life is. I am so pleased to know how little we need, and how little we need. Stop, please. I love bees. I have a bee tattoo, and they've been really knocking on the door to deliver some messages today. When you remember how little you need, you then remember how free you are. So the earth is providing for you. When you tap into your wildness, your instincts, like think about a wolf running through the woods. they are so instinctual. They are so tapped in. They know whether to go right or left. They know whether to, to attack. They know whether to hide. They know whether to hibernate. Not that I don't know if they hibernate. I don't think they hibernate. But there's this book, Women Who Run with Wolves. I haven't read it yet, but the night that I downloaded it to read it, I just started. I got through the beginning part where people give recommendations and whatnot and talk about how they feel about the book. Already reading those, I'm like, unlock. It's incredible. But the night that I downloaded it, I ran with wolves. If you guys remember, Arlo, I let Arlo, don't eat that, Arlo. Don't eat that. What do you have? Okay, that's fine. Arlo, I didn't have this fence here yet, and I woke up to Arlo crying in the middle of the night asking to go out, and so I let him out, and I had a feeling, and so I let Zima out too, who's in the little chair right there, and so I put them both out together. Zima's a livestock guardian, and so she's bred to chase wolves and everything, and then they were gone. And I was like, oh no, where are they? It was really misty. And I didn't know where Zima went, but I could hear Arlo barking up the hill, running and barking up the hill. And my first instinct was to run up the hill. I ran up this mountain up there, and I was chasing after Arlo, who was chasing after wolves. And so he didn't really know that he was chasing after wolves. Zima was chasing after wolves because she must have seen it. She chased after it. And then Arlo was chasing after her. And he was thinking it was a game. That's why he was barking. And then I'm running after them. And honestly, my intuition was I will fight the wolves if I have to. That's my child. Who's just meant to be here for a good time. Not really understanding consequences. And so that night I was running with wolves. And that synchronicity right there really it showed me, okay, this book is meant for you, but really the message behind it, which is that wildness within us. And I also was visited at my outdoor shower, which by the way, I'll show you guys my new location of my outdoor shower. Before I was over there in one of the stables, I had the shower thing, and I plan to build an actual outdoor shower soon, but this works for now. We're still obviously building the roof. Here's my little garden. First time ever gardening, still in the brace. My basil, I say it weird sometimes. My basil died as soon as I put it in there, but I put a bunch of other stuff, veggies. I can't really remember everything I put in there. Then I have, one of these is peppers and zucchini and tomatoes. I know that the zucchini need more space, so if they start growing, then I will take them and put them somewhere else. I put some wildflowers here, some other wildflowers I put here with my friend who's pregnant, and so she did some right there in the ground and I did right there, and we set our intentions. It was super cute. And so those ones are actually mosquito repelling, which would also mean that they're fly repelling, because the flies are getting insane, if you guys can see there. Yeah. So this is the outdoor shower. Voila. Simple but a luxurious thing. Honestly, it is super luxurious. I don't have to go up to the house to shower. I have my luxury hot hose water. I do a propane water heater, and it just has batteries, so it's great when I'm traveling. I can bring it and maybe hook it up to my water system. I have to figure that out, but yeah, perfect. Love this thing. It's really all you need. It's not for everybody. It's really, this lifestyle is not for everybody, and it's intense, but it's beautiful, and I feel so connected and wild again. And so the other part of that wild and free thing that I was downloaded with when ladybugs babies were getting buried right over there at their little graveyard thingy that we made. We had a ceremony, and one of the guys was I really see, he's an intuitive psychic. He's I see them running wild and free up above. And then as soon as he said that, my little indie boy over there, who is he's a gray, he's behind that halflinger. they were running wild and free. They had just arrived, really, and they were going crazy over there. And so that wild and free thing, it really stuck with me. And so there was something meant about it. One of you actually made a song, and the video that you used to make the song, he's like a DJ producer. It wasn't all about wild and free, but the very end it is. And it's just like, it's so cool. I can't wait till he finishes it so I can share it with you guys. But the free part is like what we always talk about on this channel, which is subconscious reprogramming, which is brain retraining, which is healing your nervous system, remembering and like training your brain to remember how free you are, training your brain to leave the matrix. And so when we can pair these two things together and be wild and free, you can live whatever life that you want. You know, you could live in a van in a tent on a farm in Italy and rescue a bunch of horses against guys from the mafia and blah, 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 blah. Or you can do whatever you're called to, which is going to be so incredible, which probably is incredible what you're doing right now. You've accomplished so much and you've made it so far. Like, you've really made it so far. I think so often we forget to think about that, and I didn't even really think about what I just said with the rescuing horses from mafia guy, blah blah blah, until I had a client call the other day and someone was mirroring that to me, and I was like, oh, that's a really nice thing to hear. And so I hope to mirror to you right now that what you're doing and what you've done is absolutely incredible. You once dreamed of all the things that you're doing or that you've done, and you've made it this far. You've made it to this video right now for some reason, because something within you is waking up and you're getting super ready to make a huge leap into the unknown, into the next chapter, into fulfilling your purpose. And the thing about purpose, oh, I'm so excited to explain this right now. I'm so excited to explain this right now. Look, why are you eating that, huh? He's like, if you don't give me my dinner right now, I'm going to eat rocks and sticks. Yeah, I'm making fun of you. I love him. I'm so excited to explain purpose to you guys. So I had this breakthrough in therapy the other day. Many of you guys know my therapist is absolutely wonderful and I love her so much. She is like a very spiritual, aware, awake person, and it couldn't be the more synchronistic and more perfect as a dynamic for somebody that I would have as a therapist. I was very hesitant to do it. I started a year ago because I didn't want someone to like shut down my wild and freeness, and she has expanded me tremendously. And so we were talking about love and really how, like, in relationship. And so for me, because my past relationships were never really super rooted in love. Like, they were rooted in a lot of lessons that I had to learn, a lot of illusions of what I thought love was, and it wasn't. You know, I was dating a narcissist, I dated a guy who cheated, I dated a guy who was verbally abusive, like blah, blah, blah. And I had to just go on those journeys because those woke me up and those reminded me, or taught me really, and helped me remember my worth, my truth. They taught me how to be the person that I am today. And I love those experiences for that. And on the topic of love, we started talking about it. Like, when things are anchored in love, then everything that is meant to unfold will unfold. It will be created in the most perfect way. And so you have to really look at how things have started in your life. And did it start by being anchored in love, or did it start by being anchored in unworthiness or needing it? Like, if you think about a job, did you start it because you love it, or did you start it because you needed it? Did you start the relationship because you love the person, or did you start it because you felt like you needed them? Same with friendships, same with like where you're living, same with all these things. So when it's anchored in love, like, it feels like it's, you know, that exciting, expansive, like, oh my God, synchronistic, this is wonderful, how great. If it starts in that, and it's anchored in that, then all the things that unfold from that are in alignment with your highest truth, are in alignment with, you know, that positive momentum, if we want to call it positive. There's no such thing as positive or negative, but that momentum towards that life that you're probably seeking. And when it's anchored in that, then your purpose unfolds. And what I discovered in this conversation is that purpose isn't something that you find and then you pursue. Purpose is something that you experience and then you look back on. and then you realize that it has happened. And so often, many of us are like, what is my purpose? Why am I here? And then if you don't know it, you feel kind of lost. Arlo, those are mine. Those are mine. You feel kind of lost, and you're like, why do other people know their purpose and I don't? I don't think other people know their purpose. Like, maybe they do, but the thing is, purpose can change. I think they know love. I think they know passion. I think they know curiosity. I think they know joy. And they're following that. And everything with that is unfolding. And maybe it keeps them on the same topic of being like a boxing coach, or it keeps them on the same topic of being a school teacher, or whatever. Or maybe they're following the love, their joy, the curiosity, the passion involves them. Arlo, that is my firewood. No, no more. Mostly because I think it's probably loud for you guys. Come here, child. Come here. Sit down. Many people will follow the love and joy and curiosity, and it will take them left and right and from country to country and job to job and person to person, and that's okay. I think so many people are trying to find that one thing, and they think something's wrong with them if they don't have that one thing. Some people find the one thing, and that's what their love, like I said, their love and everything is anchored in. And that's wonderful too. But you need to just accept yourself for who you are and find that wildness and find that freedom within, and allow yourself to expand from there. Allow yourself to grow from there. And if you're not there, take a few steps back. Maybe remove the things that weren't built on love, that weren't built on that, joy and curiosity, and that feeling like it was meant to be, like that feeling like it was the puzzle piece that fit right in. Evaluate those. Evaluate that job. Evaluate that friendship. Evaluate that love relationship. Evaluate that living situation. Evaluate those dynamics. And if you have the courage to change, and you know that it's the right thing to do, to change, when you do, you make the space, and everything else that is meant for you will come through. And then everything starts to unfold. And then when you look back on your life, you will have seen your purpose. So, this feels so in alignment and so wonderful. I was going to tell you guys about the bee thing. I'll tell you another time. There is an offer that I created in light of where I was being guided. I shared with you guys in my last video. I have had a few interesting phone calls where people just kept scheduling coaching sessions with me, not for the purpose of what they were intended for, which is coaching and mentorship and talking about these topics that I talk about here on on YouTube. They were more so in the topic of trying to get in my pants, to be very honest. And so I took down the option for that. And it's something that I had been thinking about for a long time, and talking with my therapist about, and pondering, and sitting with my guides and talking with them about. And what was born from that, from closing that, from taking that down because it was no longer in alignment, was instantaneously this wild and free women's group. So it's a women's group that is tailored specifically to waking up that wildness within you, specifically towards teaching you how free you truly are, helping you remember how free you truly are. There will be monthly calls, there will be EFT tapping, sound baths, moon rituals. There'll be, you guys can talk with each other, and I'll have books, like recommended books. We can do a book club. I think it's going to be just a very, very, very sacred place. And I'm so lit up about this. This is built on love. And I'm sure when I look back on it, it will be part of my purpose. And so with that, I also have a wild and free mentorship. And so it's the same thing as before a little bit, but it's a little different now. It's one-on-one phone calls with me, specifically for women. And we go into like understanding where you've kind of forgotten your intuition, or forgotten how, connected you are to earth, forgotten how you can exist here in what is the word, in sync. That's not the word that I'm thinking of, but in sync with nature, and follow that, like a wolf would follow their cues and their intuition through the woods. And we also will look into your specific patterns and your beliefs and the things that have been conditioning you to keep you in the old paradigm, in the old way of living, in your timeline that you are ready to jump out of and leap into the chosen timeline that is available to you, because it's happening right now within the infinite possibilities. So I invite you to that if it is something that you feel lit up about and you feel like would be built on love and will help lead you towards your purpose that you will look back on one day. Today has been a long, beautiful day. That's why I'm like tripping on my words now. I worked with Ladybug. I did some massages with her and just have been working, like just going in there and kind of socializing her again, like now that her hormones are calming down after losing the babies, and her pain is going down. At first she was kind of feral, like still thinking that she was so uncomfortable. A lot of horses will have phantom pain. When they are in pain, they don't really they don't realize that the pain is gone, so it can be remembered. So I've been working with her, like teaching her, we're safe, we're good. You can tell me when you're hurting. You can evaluate if you're not actually hurting. And so we've really had a great morning together. And then we introduced our stallions. So we have 2 stallions on the farm. One was the baby daddy of Chaos and Dolore. Another one is our newest stallion. And so it actually went really, really well. The thing about stallions on horse farms is that oftentimes people will keep them separated and away from all the other horses, and these poor creatures just live by themselves, and then they're meant to just make babies and then just be on their own. And horses are social creatures. They're meant to be wild and free at their root, and so we like to keep our horses in herds. And I've learned so much from the farm owner here. Like I knew none of this before coming here, and so we wanted our stallions to meet so that when we moved them up into the summer field up there, they could be together, and it went well. They figured out their dominance, they figured out who's in charge, and then they were able to just be in the arena together. So that was incredible. So did that, and then I worked with Indy. The vet came and looked at Indy. Indy is my other horse that I've been working with as like my little project, I guess. He came from Bulgaria. He's super traumatized. The farrier used to beat him to do his back feet, and so he really doesn't trust people. He and I have been building a bond, and it's been really special watching him trust me. Like the other day I walked out into his paddock to go get him, and he saw me and started walking towards me. Like that moment was huge. That meant that he associates me as safety, and he knew that coming to me meant he was going to be safe. Huge. Today, the vet looked at him, doesn't think that he has like so much wrong with him. A lot of it could be remembered pain from what he experienced in Bulgaria. He has some stuff in his neck and whatnot, so I'm doing some treatment or some exercises with him, some stretches. We were doing round pen lunging with Ladybug. I was doing with Ladybug and with him, but my ankle needs some rest still, so sorry on the sound bath journey. I will continue to day 2 once I can walk. Really, I had to order an Uber, which just means my friend here on the farm brought down the farm car and picked me up to go over there. And so I hurt it by pushing it too much. So now I have to take it easy for the next few weeks. But life is beautiful. I love this life. I love it so much. And I want you to get to build your life on love, on the foundation of love, and have your purpose unfold in front of you. And to be able to trust in that wildness and just watching this like bird flock fly, and so beautiful. I want you to remember your wildness and how free you really are. So I invite you to that space if you feel called to do so. If you want to sign up for any of my other programs, I have 21 days to know your divine guidance, 21 days to rewire your mind. I have decondition, which is my intensive 12-week program, which is all about deconditioning the mind and remembering the truth of who you are. And so that's a go at your own pace. Those 3 programs are all go at your own pace, but obviously they're designed to have 21 days or 12 weeks specifically. So there's like week modules in decondition with guided meditations and EFT tapping and breath work and all this stuff. So I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye. You say bye.